I'm in my garden because it's nice weather and it's way too hot to film in my studio because it has a glass roof and it's like a furnace in there. So, going on adventures and having holidays is an incredible adventure and it's so much fun. So it stands to reason that taking a friend along with you would be even more fun, right? It's not always the case, unfortunately, that your choice of companion can make or break your holiday. So you need to put a bit of thought into it before you book all the holiday and pinky swear on it with your friend. I honestly think the biggest revelation that I had is that just because you get on at home doesn't necessarily mean you're going to get on whilst on the road. So how on earth do you decide who's going to be compatible with you or not? On my last trip to Ireland, I planned to go for about 2 to 3 months, and I knew I was going to be doing woofing and I knew I was going to be doing a bit of couch surfing and, not luxury travel basically. It was going to be extreme budget. And I decided to invite my best friend Sarah along with me. Now there was a number of reasons why I knew we'd be compatible. Firstly, we've been best friends since we were little kids, so we've already seen each other at our best and our worst. Sarah's also a fellow traveller and she doesn't need a lot of expense or extravagance, so I knew she'd be comfortable if we'd end up, sharing a bed or not eating super fancy meals every night. Plus, she'd already spent some time woofing and couch surfing. I actually knew about woofing from Sarah. She'd done it in Canada, so she already knew what to expect. Obviously, woofing is going to be very different in every different country and every different farm, but she already knew basically what was going to be roughly expected. So that was really helpful because not only was she prepared, she could also, help me prepare a little bit more. My cat's coming to join. You're going to be in the video, Phoebes? No. Now, even though Sarah and I are incredibly similar, and for the most part the trip was incredible and we had so much fun with each other, that being said, there were a few moments where tensions run high, and I think that just came from the fact that we were in each other's company 24/7. Literally, we slept in the same bed for a lot of it, so it was bound to happen that occasionally we'd butt heads a little bit, but fortunately, I think we knew each other well enough that we didn't take it personally. It was all over and done with within that day. It got sorted. Yeah, I think as long as you know the person well enough to, the times that they need a hug and the times that they just need to be left alone to cool down, I think if you can recognise that in your friend, then that's going to be a good person to take with you on the trip, because there will be moments when you need to just be left alone. So how do you choose a friend or group of friends to take with you on a trip? There's a bunch of different things that I think can help you as long as you really consider every option before you sign and book on the dotted line. Number one is, do your holiday budgets match up? It's going to be super awkward if you've saved for ages and you're planning to do a lot of expensive activities and have some really nice meals and stay in some relative comfort, and your friend just doesn't have that money. They weren't planning on this trip and that they're going to be looking to be staying in hostels and having beans from a can every night. So there's obviously going to be tension there if you haven't already talked about what your budgets are and how much you can deviate from those budgets to compromise for each other. Number two, what if you want to do different things? Any one country has a vast number of different things to offer, and you might have very different ideas of what you want to get out of the holiday than your friend. If you're going to Rome and you want to check out the museums and all the historical sites, but then you quickly find out that your friend would much rather check out Rome's nightlife and hit all the clubs, then there's obviously going to be some conflict whilst you're already out there. I think sitting down and really discussing what both of you are expecting to get out of this holiday and do whilst you're out there before you do anything would be the best plan. And if you realise that actually you've both got very different ideas of what you want to do while you're out there, and neither of you are willing to compromise too much because it's your trip, you shouldn't have to, then maybe they're not the best person to take with you. Number 3, is a group a disaster waiting to happen? Given that it's tricky enough to navigate travelling with just one friend, travelling with a whole group of friends could seem like a horrendous idea. However, if you choose them right, then it could actually save you money and take the pressure of just 2 friends travelling together. If a few of you in the group decide you want to do something different that day to the rest of the group, then you can always split off and still not be on your own. You can meet up again later with the rest of the group to do an activity that you all want to do. Not to mention that travelling with a group can save you quite a bit of money, given that lots of holiday reps and activities actually offer discounts to large groups, rather than just couples or individuals travelling. How do you avoid arguments whilst travelling with friends? Other than the absolute must of planning your trip together before you go, just to make sure that you're both on the same page, you can also minimise the possibility of fights whilst on the road by knowing each other really well. Just being really good friends, I think, is the best plan. Giving each other some personal space is incredibly important, especially if you're road tripping or camping where you're quite literally sleeping on top of each other practically every night. Travelling is incredible and full of thrilling moments, but it can have its down moments as well, and I think it's perfectly fine to just take yourself off for a quiet half hour, as long as you explain first to your friend that it's nothing personal. Sometimes you just need to have a little bit of space, recuperate, and then come back and be your happy, normal, bubbly self. If you are normally happy and bubbly. You might not be, you might be a grumpus all the time, but I don't know. This can be a little bit trickier with the group, so again, it's important to know that you're comfortable with all of the people within the group before you go off with them to God knows where. What is the best part of travelling with a friend over travelling solo? Travelling alone can be amazing. You can learn new skills, you can discover yourself, you can reinvent yourself, you can meet new people and new friends. There's so much that you can do whilst exploring a country by yourself. Yeah, I honestly still think that nothing beats discovering a new place with a close friend. Taking Sarah with me to Ireland not only helped me be way more confident and helped me look slightly less crazy whilst vlogging in the middle of a crowded street, just talking into my camera by myself is very weird when you're not accompanied by an attractive blonde girl. But I honestly think that I laughed 1,000 times more than if I'd just been on my own. We were able to share costs, split food and accommodation, making the entire trip actually a whole lot cheaper as well. When we became trapped in Lisdoonvarna, rather than getting worried or angry, we were just laughing our heads off about how on earth we'd ended up in that situation. When we were stranded in a tiny cabin with hardly any heat, freezing our asses off, we quite literally kept each other warm. And when we were at the top of Cliffs of Moher, I was looking out at the most amazing natural scenery that I'd ever seen, taking in this breathtaking beauty, and I looked to my side and Sarah was having the exact same experience, and knowing that we could talk about that and have that brilliant moment in common for years to come, that was just really cool. If you plan your trip right and be honest with each other and upfront and a little bit compromising and forgiving, then I honestly think that travelling with friends can truly enrich your holiday and your experience, and you can create memories that both of you will never forget for the rest of your life. I mean, we can't actually forget Ireland, given that I filmed every single day and put it on YouTube, but you know what I mean, right? Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe and leave me a comment as well, and I will get back to you. And check out the blog as well if you haven't done already. Thanks for watching. See you in the world. Bye!